Hello Pixel Revive, this is Lugas here and welcome to this Battlefield 3 commentary. So the question I want to pose to you in this particular commentary is this: is the future of gaming free to play? Now we all know what the basic concept of free to play is. You get the core game free, no upfront payment, with the option to purchase other products such as gear, unlocks, premium counts and in-game currency for a small price of around 99p right up to 30 quid depending on what you're actually purchasing. Now historically, free-to-play games have been browser-based and fairly poor. However, recently this has changed. You've got games like Hawken and Ghost Recon Online, just to name a few. And of course, bigger developers are now seeing this and they're starting to change to the free-to-play model. For instance, Star Wars The Old Republic was subscription-based and now it's free-to-play. Now, the problem is you do get some disadvantages when it comes to free-to-play games. You get restricted access to the game content, such as in-game chats, storage, and of course equipment. And it can actually lead to the concept of paying to win, where a certain person who's pretty much flush and loaded buys all the good gear and basically dominates the early game or dominates battlegrounds or the PvP and things like that. However, there are some great advantages to free-to-play games. It boils down to this basically, is that it gets updated a lot more. You get a lot more patches in free-to-play games. And the reasons for that is simple, is that these developers, these small developers who create these free-to-play games, have to keep their audience, and they have to fix bugs and glitches fairly quickly, and they have to keep up to date the value of in-game currency as well as the products that are for sale. Now, on the flip side, we've got production games, off-the-shelf games, which cost you between £40 to £60, depending on what platform, how old they are, and what particularly whether it's a AAA title. And you would expect, if you're paying that sort of money up front, that you're going to get a highly polished and decent game. However, recent experience has shown us that's not the case. When Battlefield 3 was released, it had a shed load of bugs and glitches, and we had to wait a whole month before we got the first patch. Games like Warfighter also had problems because it was rushed into production because it was wanted to be out for Christmas and everything like that. And you think if you're going to spend your hard-earned money on one particular game, and in some cases some people only buy 1 or 2 games a year, you want it to work fairly quickly and you want it to be supported, by the developer. And unfortunately, if the game flops, and again I'm referencing Warfighter on this, then the developer's not going to have it's just basically not going to get support, and it's going to kill the game off. And the same with Crysis 3, it just didn't, for some strange reason, it just didn't have the developer's support. And then you have the arrival of downloadable content, these additional maps, guns, elements to the game that you then pay even more money for, £15 to £20, or $30, or wherever part of the world you're in, you're paying more money. And then you get even more glitches and even more problems, which require even more patches, and you're waiting ages for these to come out as well. With free-to-play games, you get game updates on a regular basis, again because these small developers need to keep their audience interested to make these microtransactions. So in conclusion then, I don't see free-to-play taking over. As long as people are still wanting to pay their £40 to £60 or $80 or whatever, however much it is in your part of the world to buy these games, developers are going to make them. But what I do see is that developers are going to see that this is another revenue for them to tap into, and they're going to make games purely for digital download and purely for free to play for these microtransactions. And I think in the long run it will start to be the main focus of online gaming. So there you go guys, there's my opinion on the subject. I hope you enjoyed this commentary. I really want to know what you think on this particular subject, so please leave a comment down below. As always, give it a like, please feel free to share it. And as always guys, thanks for watching, take care.